So I got re-pierced, but it was very unsafe. Sterile though, but they could have messed me up. Hey, I'm Normani, and this is my Women's Health Body Scan. Honestly, I feel like the relationship that I have with my body, I feel like I haven't been as self-conscious. I think with my body growing up as I am now. And I think that that has a lot to do with obviously like society and telling you what the standards of beauty are, but I think that there's also a new level that I feel like I have of like self-awareness and being able to finally appreciate the things that make my body because it's unique, specifically designed like for me just as everybody else's is, you know? Like it would be so boring if we all looked the same. I think my favorite body part would have to be probably my legs. And I think maybe because they remind me of my mom's legs. Like that's one thing that I love. When I look in the mirror, I can see like my mom's legs, I can see my dad's nose, which are things that I love because they're always gonna be with me, you know? Especially like when I pass that on to my kids. It's just like really, really interesting just how like life and genetics work. But I would have to say my legs. So my belly button ring closed because I got it when I was like 17, 18. And I begged my mom for it, like begged. And she was like, you're gonna grow out of it, which I did. So by the time I shot Motivation, it was out for like months. I don't think it was fully closed, but it started to like, you know, when you don't have a piercing in for a while, like it shrinks, the hole shrinks. So I decided last minute that I wanted to have my belly button ring in, you know, to pay homage to the early 2000s. I wanted to really commit, so I went for it. And I just remember my makeup artist, my hairstylist, my mom, they were taking turns. Like it was like, they were all like in a line, lined up to see who would get it through because it was so challenging to go through. They didn't even use a needle. They actually used the ring. And I don't even know if it was the right size. It was something that I had just gotten because like I said, it was last minute. So it just like, we had to push it, like really, really get in there, push through. And I think it was Grace, my makeup artist, that ended up getting it in. It hurt though, it did. So I got re-pierced, but it was very unsafe. Sterile though, but they could have messed me up. Well, I have like type 4 hair, which means that I have like very, very thick and I have coarse strands. And also like I have shrinkage. The shrinkage is really, really real. You can straighten my hair today, I go outside and then it's like, whoa. Which means it's healthy. I take real pride in my hair, especially like I said, being a woman of color, and then also having so many people in my head over the course of my whole career. Like my hair has been through so many different phases. It's broken off. I've had a relaxer, I've had color, which is why during this quarantine, you guys have seen me in my protective styles, which have been like twists, passion twists, box braids, which are actually my favorite. Just to lock in the moisture and I don't have to touch it. It can just do what it's supposed to do and just grow and be without being too manipulated. I have grown to really love my texture hair, especially growing up because, you know, I think that society, even now, but there's definitely much more of an awareness, I think, for my type of hair and appreciation because growing up, like I said, I wanted straight hair. I was one of like 3 Black kids at my school. And it was really, really hard for me, like being asked, why is your hair like, ooh, what's that smell? Like it smells so good, like can I touch it? Like just always feeling like the other. And then also feeling like if I didn't have loose, fine, like curly hair, that it wasn't beautiful, you know? So I'm really, really grateful that I'm able to represent, like I said, an entire generation, not even just like musically. I use that as an opportunity for me to be represented and represent other Black girls that may have my like kinkier texture hair, which is beautiful and deserves to be celebrated like any other hair texture. And honestly, we have some pretty strong hair and our hair can do a lot of things that other hair can. Well, I normally take vocal lessons like 2 or 3 times a week. And then I also I'm constantly singing obviously working on my album, like recording a ton, and then also just like drinking tea, making sure even when I wake up, luckily I'm a tea drinker and I really really like tea. That kind of just like hydrates my vocal cords. I actually on the Sweetener tour, I got so sick. I think I had like the strep throat or something, and my whole voice like went out. It was really bad. I was in bed. It was just awful. And then it was the decision of like, do I perform tonight or do I just like sit this one out? But I didn't want to let the fans down. And I ended up doing the show, but it was really tough to get through. I was terrified, and then it's just like, okay, is my voice gonna go out? It's just like the not knowing and being up there, not knowing exactly what's gonna happen, and you feel like crap. It was just really bad. So yeah, that's definitely happened to me a few times, but I specifically remember that time because it was so bad and so painful. I feel like the first thing that makeup artists tell me anytime they were creating a look is like, wow, I really love your eye space. Like you have really nice lids, which I guess I never really thought about. When it's you, you don't see those things, but I really love like a bold eye. And just like fun looks, I guess I like to play with color as well. As long as it kind of stays in the wheel of like the neutrals. But I love like different hues of browns, burgundies, like golds, silvers. So it's typically like stay in that world. But for the most part, when it comes to makeup, I just love to look like myself and feel like the skin isn't too heavy. Like I still want it to feel natural. I still want myself to come through. I wanted braces when I was little, but they didn't give me braces. They said I didn't need braces. But I actually had Invisalign like 3 years ago because I got my wisdom teeth pulled out. So with taking your wisdom teeth out, they started shifting a little bit. But I remember wanting braces really bad when I was little. I would try to stick like paper or something like in between my 2 front teeth just to create a gap, but didn't work. I just wanted the rubber bands. One of my friends had braces too, and I was like, yo, like, can I just have rubber bands? And you know the wax? I would put the wax in my mouth, like, what? I just wanted to be a part of the braces club. They robbed me of that. I broke my toe. I broke my toe at gymnastics, and my coach didn't believe me. I was like, like I was like crying. I was really young too, and I think I had a gymnastics meet that weekend. So he was like, no, you're gonna finish this practice. So I finished the practice, I went to the doctor, and they told me that I broke my toe. And I went back to gym, and this was my choice. I didn't have to compete, but because of who I am, I always end up just pushing through, just like I did for Sweetener when I had strep. Like, I still ended up competing, but it hurt really bad. And he didn't believe me. But I was just so happy. I remember I being a little sassy when I came from the doctor, and I was like, see, I told you my toe was broken and you didn't believe me. You still made me do the vault. I actually just like recently found out that my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, which is reoccurring, and it's honestly the most confusing time for me in my life and the most terrifying time for me ever, especially like just for my family, and thinking about the possibility of just like not having her here with me like really scares me. And it's just important, and it's really amazing too that my mom is so strong. You know, I think that my family for the most part in terms of my mental health, even though she's going through the toughest time and the scariest moment of her life, she keeps me strong. So I'm allowing myself to feel what I need to feel, but I'm also really just hopeful, and I believe that God is gonna see her through it, and she is my strength and my anchor and my rock. So my mental is okay when she's okay. Like when I see her smile, even in the midst of this tragic time for our family, like that's all I need to make it through. Honestly, for the last maybe like 8 years, I've been struggling with my skin. I think it's because I wasn't really big on makeup before the group, and wearing it, I guess, just like so constantly, every day, long hours, it really just took a toll on my skin. I've tried so many people, so many different even just like topical medications and holistic. But I finally found a girl, Celeste, who is amazing, and she's honestly like giving me the confidence boost that I felt like I needed. Towards the beginning of this year, honestly, my skin was at its like all-time worst, which is why I didn't go to a lot of the events that I was supposed to go to. Like I was supposed to go to the Rock Nation brunch, I remember, and I just felt robbed, you know, like robbed of the opportunity to just like be and have fun and like celebrate with my peers because of how I felt about myself. And it was just a really, really dark time for me. Unfortunately, based on how you look in your exterior, like obviously affects how you feel or what you think about yourself. But I've definitely made progress, and this is really good for me. Today is a good day. I've been taking my probiotics. I'm really big on vitamins, lots of water, and then also not being stressed, which I mean, I wish I could just turn it off, but you know, it happens when it happens. But you can help it as best as you can by eating as clean as possible. Says the girl that just had wings. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Women's Health. Love yourself.